Okay, we're in the color painting course. I'm going to paint a figure and a portrait, and essentially this is what I'm going to do. I'm showing you the figure I'm going to paint, and I'm going to start from a drawing that I did from life. In the portrait I'm going to do, I'm showing you two photographs that I took plus a drawing, and the photographs lie, so I really need the drawing of the model. The one on the left is too dark. I had only one light source from above her head on the right, and on the right here I actually used the flash plus the light source so I could actually see into the shadows. And I've used this model for years, so I can almost do this painting from memory. The model on the top, because I've been doing life drawing for 25 years and painting flesh, I can really work just from the drawing. Let me give you sort of an outline of what I'm going to do. What I'm showing you is I'm going to start either with a blank canvas or a tone canvas. I'll probably use the tone canvas for the portrait and the blank one for the figure. And initially I'm going to do a value block in, which is I'm going to be drawing with a brush and a little burnt umber or burnt sienna, and I'm going to try to establish the drawing and some of the darks. And once I get that done, I'll stop and let it dry. The paint here is going to be very thin, and then the next step I'll start actually applying the color. And that's what this video course is really about. It's about basically painting with either oil, acrylic, or even pastel or watercolor, and using color. And color in itself is complicated, but if you can get the drawing and the value pattern right, that's 80–90% of the whole painting. And the color is really the frosting on the cake. Now, with color, my procedure is I basically do the underpainting in a single value, probably burnt sienna, burnt umber. I put the darks in with a little burnt umber and blue, ultramarine blue. Then I start putting in colors. I work on the midtones initially, and then at the very end, once I get all the midtones and the darks established, I go to the highlights. Like I said, I can use either toned or untoned canvas. My procedure for each one is going to be slightly different, just so you get an idea that there's really no one way to do this, essentially as a starting point. The drawing, I'm going to do, put it in with a brush and put the dark value patterns in initially. Then I'll start adding colors, particularly the midtones and the flesh mixtures. At the very end, I start adding the highlights. I'm going to be using a limited palette, which I'll discuss extensively in one of the next videos. I'm going to paint thin paint to thick paint, particularly with oil. I have to do this so that the paint doesn't crack. That is, I start initially with paint that's heavily thinned with turpentine or turpenoid. And then I move to a medium. I use Neomeglip, and I'll discuss that a little bit. And then at the very end, I'm using straight paint. The straight paint has the biggest oil content, so I'm really going from something with very little oil to something with a lot of oil. So that's really the idea of essentially fat from lean paint to fat paint, particularly with oils. With acrylics, you don't have this problem because it dries so fast. You don't have the problem with watercolors or pastels. And again, I basically work dark to light, and I'm going to show you this as I do go through each painting, and they're going to be done in complete detail. This is going to be a complete painting session, real time.